All right. Next, I'm going to show you some exercise or stretches that I recommend for the lower body. First one is pelvic tilt. The second one is going to be what I call the fire hydrant. So pelvic tilt is going to be specifically for the low back, hips, and pelvis. It can help take pressure off of the discs in the low back, which can relieve pain. It can help strengthen our lower abdominals, which helps keep our pelvis in proper position. As most of us sit a lot, the front of our body and our hips and our hip flexors get very tight and short and weak, and our back has to compensate to allow for strength. So this is kind of reversing that habit. So pelvic tilt. Hopefully you can see, I know I'm in black clothes on a black surface here. My knees, my feet are kind of flat on the surface, and we aren't going to be pushing with our legs. So that's step or concept number one that's important. All of the movement is going to be in the pelvis. This is a very small movement. What we're not doing is bridges, so we're not lifting our pelvis all the way up, not pushing through the legs. To exaggerate or to explain this, I'm going to exaggerate a posture, which is to have a huge arch in my back, okay? Because the exercise is to flatten our back against the table, and as we do that, we can feel the pelvis tipping towards the ceiling and release. So this is a pelvic tilt. You could call it a thrust, I don't care what you call it. But we are engaging our lower abdominals. You might feel that. You might not feel it if they're not strong and don't know what to do. This could also be difficult or awkward if those muscles just don't know how to engage, so we practice. Again, we're tipping our pelvis or our hips so that if there was a laser beam coming out of me this way, my goal would be to tip it as far towards the ceiling as I can, and feeling in that in that kind of movement, my back flattening against the table. So we can tilt and hold for just a couple of seconds and release. Tilt and hold and release. If we did 10 of these tilts twice a day, that would be awesome. We could do 20 of them. We could do them at all. I highly recommend it. If you have severe low back pain, this can actually help relieve it in the moment when you aren't able to do much else. It's like if you literally can't get up, attempt a couple of pelvic tilts. It helps. Well, it helps. Okay, second exercise. Oftentimes when we have low back pain or back problems, it can be accompanied with weak glute muscles. So these are our glute maximus is one of the strongest muscles in our body technically, but because we do a lot of sitting and are in poor positioning often, it can begin to kind of atrophy and just not do the job it's supposed to. So to help take pressure again off of the low back, doing these what I call fire hydrants helps strengthen the glutes, and it helps. So here we are on all fours. Our arms are straight down from our shoulders, our legs are straight down from our hips, feeling nice and stable. And the exercise, or the stretch I should say, is to lift our leg up like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Lift it as high as you can and hold it for just a couple seconds and back down. If you are tight like I am in the hips, you might feel kind of a spasm or like a little clenching. That just is a good sign that you should do them more often. Again, 10 to 20 reps at least once a day. You can help strengthen those glutes, which will in concept take pressure off of the low back, and can help with some hip pain too. If any of these stretches hurt, don't do them. That is always the general rule. But there you go, pelvic tilts and the fire hydrant.